Hi guys, welcome to today's vlog. Today I want to show you how to incorporate a company. So for today's incorporation, we are particularly working with a private limited liability company, what we refer to as LLC. So today the name of the company we're working on is Estroba Nigeria Limited. And how did we get here? First we did a search on the name. It was free for registration, meaning there was no other company registered with this similar name. And we went ahead to do the name reservation. If you need a video on how to perform a search and how to reserve a name to get approval, please go down, scroll down, you see the videos already uploaded. You can just take a minute or two, watch it, and learn how to do this on your own. So once you're done with the name reservation, the next step is to click on start registration and it will take you to this page. So yeah, when you get here, first thing is principal business activity. You have to choose from a list of businesses as seen. So for this particular company, they are into administrative and support service activities, and under as a subhead for this classification I'm going to choose general contract. Then for the principal activity description, I'm going to put a couple of businesses which the company is into, and then I'll conclude with general contract. Then I add the email of the company, the phone number, the state it's registered, the local government, city, house number, street name. Please note, where you've seen house number and or building name, strictly you can just put the number this registered office address is located, or if there's a name like a testimony house or whatever name, you can use that name there. Then for street name, you're just supposed to describe the name of the street, the road, the avenue, the estate here. You're not supposed to bring the number down here to write. Such things can be queried. Then when you're done, you click on save and continue, and it takes you to the next page, which is the object. Now let me explain the object for you. For this particular business, the client clearly said that he wants to engage in general construction services, real estate services, hospitality services, importing and exporting, logistics, and general contractors. So yeah, I had to sit down and draft objects for each of these services. You have to note that I started with to carry on the business of, or I can just use to provide social services, to engage in these services, Then at the end, I stated that this company is going to carry out services related to the main service. This service is already listed, but then these services they will carry out are not limited to the exact services as stated, meaning they could decide to add few other services in future. This is just to give my clients like that broadness that it could, bring in other businesses which you would like to carry out in future. So we move on to the next page, which is the witness information. For the witness, if the client has a witness, that's perfect, but I don't have to waste time if the client does that. I just fill it for the client as the legal practitioner after informing my client. Then after filling that out, it's time to add the articles. If you want to draft articles for your company, that's fine, but for this company, we'll be adopting the default articles already. These are standard articles given by CAC. This is basically how the company is to be managed, the duties of the directors, the shareholders, the secretary, how the meetings are to be scheduled, their roles and functions. So I'm going to adopt the default articles that is already uploaded by CAC, and once you click on adopt default articles, that all this will show up and you only need to save and continue. Then it's time to add director. Guys, I already added my director, but if you've not added a director, you just see the part that says add individual director. At this point, please note that if your director is a foreigner, you have to add the director as a foreigner. If the person is Nigerian, you just add individual director. If your director is a company, you can click on add corporate director. Also, secretary. There's also room to add individual secretary, which for this registration, the same director is also the secretary. And but if you're using a law firm or just any consulting firm as a secretary, you're supposed to click add corporate secretary. And the information that will be required is to add the phone number, email, contacts, secretary, occupation, and that's all. The next stage is adding the share capital. This is a list of major businesses and share capital, especially for businesses that their share capital is above 5 million. You'll find them here. We have businesses like Merchant Bank, 50 million. You just find all other businesses that their share capital is above, call it 5 million. Yes. So this is where you find out how much share capital your client business is supposed to have. I'm going to upload this list in the description. So if you just want to know, if you're starting up a business and you want to know how much share capital is required for your business, just check the description box and you'll see the documents attached. So we're going to close this because we want to add share capital for this particular client. So we're going to select this type of company. It's an entity with shares below 5 million. Yes, so but the total share capital as requested by the client is 1 million. And for the services it's offering, yes, 1 million flows, okay? But if you have any other services that require more than 1 million, then you have to consider, working with the required minimum share capital. So yes, the class of shares for this particular company, we are going to be working with ordinary shares. So the issued share capital is 1 million. How many shareholders do I have? Just one. So it's going to be divided into one unit, still valued at 1 million share capital, meaning the one shareholder is the sole person that contributed the 1 million naira. So basically, I like to give this explanation. Share capital is more like a capital that you use to start a business. So if you're bringing 5 people to contribute to 200,000 naira to make up 1 million, that's like you're bringing 5 units of shares that's valued at, you can decide to value each share at 50,000 per unit. So one person brings 4 units of the shares, each person brings 4 units of the shares. That will make a total unit of only 4 times 5. 4 times 5, that's 20 units of the shares. So you really need to study the whole share capital thing well, because it can get really confusing sometimes. But if you know the calculation, it's just a matter of dividing the number of share capital with the number of shareholders and you get the percentage that you want. So yes, there's a part where they said had shareholders and I just have to edit. Now remember that when we added director, there's a part that will show add director as shareholder. You have to tick it so that the director's name will appear here. That's if your director is a shareholder. For this company, yes, like I already explained, the director is a shareholder, so I had already ticked it, and the director's details is also it. This is just to prevent wasting of time trying to input details afresh. So yes, then just to review the director's address, because when you want to add shares, a couple of things might have gone up, so you have to really review it once more. So type of shares is ordinary, number of shares is one of one, that's 1 million share capital. Prescribed particulars, I'm just going to take particulars of any rights as respect capital to participate in a distribution, including on winding up. So these are like the rights the shareholder has. Now that this is done, I'm just going to save and continue to the next page. Now this next page will have to do with person with significant control. One or more person who hold up to 5% shares have automatically been added. Yeah, so the person with significant control must hold up to 5% shares. But this director, he owns all the shares, so he's automatically a person with significant control for this company. Now that this is done, you now fill in your personal accreditation number. You as the accredited agent, this page is for you. I'm just going to take a minute to fill this out and we'll continue from here. So now that my upload of all required documents is complete, I'll just click on next, save and continue, and it takes me to the next page, which is the preview. All you need to do is just to look through. Please confirm the email if this email is correct, and just read through everything, make sure there are no mistakes, go through the articles, go through director's details, secretary details, shareholder details, person with significant control details. Just keep going through, cross-check the date of birth, phone number to make sure there is no mistake, and proceed to payment. At the point of payment, please note that you have to be really focused. First, what I do is to screenshot this remitter number, because if the network gets bad, you will need it to process your stamp duties. So I process this first. First, you have to pay the filing fee, which is this. So I'll go ahead and make the payment. Then right after this, I'll show you how to make payments for the stamp duties. So after paying your filing fees, the next step is to pay your stamp duty fees. Sometimes stamp duty payments, the system might log you out because of network default. So like it happened to me now, I have to now go to not submit a registration, click on stamp duty, and then I'll input the remitter number. How do you have this remitter number? First, if you had copied it out while you were paying for the filing fees, that's one way of having that remitter number. Another is after paying filing fees, the invoice lands directly on your registered email, and on your registered email you see the payment receipt. Your remitter retrieval reference number is right on the receipt. All you need to do is to copy it out to the stamp duty payment and click on make payment. Just give it a minute. Once it loads, you'll be able to make payment. And once you're done with payments, the invoice will be sent directly to the email of one of the directors. So any of the directors can just receive the email, but for the purpose of this company incorporation, please note that the email mostly drops in the director with the highest share capital. But however, if the person with the highest share capital doesn't see it, you can decide to check that of other directors, the email of other directors. Definitely one person's email must have received it, and you can request for the RRR. If none of them, probably they gave you a wrong email and they can't find the remitter reference number, all you have to do is to go to the remitter app and try to retrieve the remitter number, or you send an email to support@remitter.net requesting for the remitter number. Just inform them the date you made the payment, the company name, the name of the director, the amount that was paid, the medium of payment, was it a transfer, was it a web payment, and attach the receipts of the payment. Then someone from the support team, remitter support team, is going to send the remitter receipts to you, and you can now input the number and submit your registration, or to enable your registration move to pending. So that's the whole process for company incorporation. I really hope you've taken all the tips and points, and I know that you can now do this company incorporation on your own. We're looking forward to show you so much more on how to register other types of entities like NGOs, associations, churches, So just make sure you subscribe to this channel and like these videos. This is just an encouragement to me to be able to upload more videos for you. I hope you really enjoyed watching this. Thank you for watching.